evening, I'm Laura Lee. Thanks for joining us tonight. For the first time since announcing plans for a controversial data center in Hermantown, Google reps are speaking directly with community members about that proposal. Northern News Now's Ella Schoberl heard from both sides tonight on this controversial project. And Ella, it sounds like a lot of people had many questions about this.
Yeah, that's right, Laura. The open house had representatives from Google, Mortensen Construction, and Minnesota Power, and it brought in hundreds. Those both for and against the project said that they were looking to get more information on key concerns like environmental and economic impacts. Community members lined up outside Hermantown's Odd Shrine Event Center, looking to get their questions answered on the proposed 1.8 million square foot Google data center that would be near Midway Road and Morris Thomas Road. Both sides of the issue made sure they were in attendance.
I think we should be thanking them for coming and investing here.
That's the way that Google operates. They try to get a foothold in before it's too late to turn it off.
The open house was packed as nearly a dozen different representatives talked to hundreds of residents on the proposed data center's water management, site selection, environmental review process, and more. Google reps said Wednesday's event was meant to offer a direct line of communication between Hermantown residents and project leaders.
These projects are complex and have a lot of parts to them. We're excited to be at the point where we can really answer a lot of the community's questions here tonight and going forward.
One big question from residents to Google was, why here?
So many environmental issues, water, what happens to a lot of the farming land out there they're gonna lose their wells.
But some who are opposed say that even if they get their questions answered, it's not likely to change their opinion.
I'm very unlikely to be persuaded to change my mind. Everything I've read about mega data centers, we'd be better off without them.
Outside the meeting, some even protesting the project. Meanwhile, those in support say they too are looking to learn more about the project and hope these events will bring more dialogue and transparency about next steps.
And that's what I hope that this really starts, is a robust community dialogue that the community can get what it wants from this project, as can the company.
Google reps said that they're planning more community events like this one tonight to allow for more public input. They said the next event is expected to be in August. Live in studio, Ella Schoberl, Northern News Now.
Ella, thank you. And we have numerous reports on this issue, including coverage of past meetings and Dan Wolf's Dateline Data Center special report. You can watch them by downloading our Northern News Now app.